Bells ring in here in Stark Vegas for this early morning start. These two teams first met in 1905 at Auburn in the road whites for the first time today. For the first time this season away from the Plains. Brad Wall will get us started. Jonathan Ford and Kerryon Johnson back to receive. Chance for a return from the goal line. It's Kerryon Johnson. And knocked out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Auburn has been known for its...
This season, today, I'm interested to see how it goes.
Well, they're coming off of a game against Louisiana Monroe where they didn't punt. Sean White is the starting quarterback. He finds Kerryon Johnson going the wrong way. It's a loss of 3. Corey Thomason on the stop.
All 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Look for Auburn to put it in the air a little bit more today.
2nd and 13, and Kerryon Johnson gets 3 of those yards back and picks up an extra. That's going to leave 3rd and 9.
That's an outstanding job.
4-man rush over the middle. Intercepted! Picked up by Kevon Coleman. And he takes it inside the 20. Tony's gun here already in the red zone. And Fitzgerald will take off with it. He's the leading quarterback rusher in the SEC.
He is a dynamic runner, though.
Ashton Shumpert getting the start at tailback today. Fitzgerald over the middle, knocked away, and that will set up 3rd and 7 for Mississippi.
Manageable.
Fitzgerald only 41% passing on 3rd down this season. That's the worst among any quarterback in the SEC. He has all day. Flag on the play, and he's able to go underneath to Donald Gray. A gain of only 2. Jonathan Ford with the coverage, and we'll check the flag.
Maybe going to give him 3rd down over and a short
offside defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
At the least, that's exactly where he likes to go.
He'll roll out and incomplete. Short to Rodby. Wow! He missed the chip shot, and Mississippi State unable to take advantage. Auburn back at the controls under Sean White. And White wants to throw on 1st down. Able to get it away to Ryan Davis, and that's good for a 1st down. And for the
it's 7-0, guys.
All right, Adnan, thanks. And Auburn not wasting any time. Kerryon Johnson rips off a 10-yard run. Sophomore from Madison, Alabama. And
them to go fast.
Johnson again. And he's able to fight for a few more behind Chandler Cox. It's a 5-yard sideline, so Cameron Petway replaces him there. 2nd and 4. And the toss to Petway, trying to find the edge. Able to pick up 6. And
Texas A&M defensive ends had so much success with.
Well, Texas A&M defensive ends have success against a lot of people. There's Cameron Petway once again trying to run behind that offensive line for Auburn. In that left side, Dampier was injured in a win against LSU a few weeks ago.
They run this stack. They usually run the football here.
Instead, they go against their tendency. White, deep sideline shot. Caught! 1st down, Tony Stevens. Down to the 6-yard line over the top of Kevon.
Space so he can just come away with a nice grab.
7th play of the 2nd drive. White keeps it and gets submarined at the... They out-talented Louisiana Monroe up and down the field. Truitt comes in motion. They give it straight away. And Petway gets cut down after a gain of 4. Leo Lewis, a freshman from Brookhaven, Mississippi, with the stop.
A small win here. Mississippi State's able to hold Auburn to a field goal attempt. Got to come up big here on 3rd down.
To Sean White. They'll roll the pocket left to the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn. Able to find Ryan Davis for a 3-yard strike.
They run the bunch.
Daniel Carlson has never missed an extra point. That trend continues. A 9-play, 80-yard drive helped out by a shot down the sideline to Tony. And Carlson with a strong leg, ready to put it in the air for Auburn. You may not see a return all season against Daniel Carlson. Let's take a look back. With our Holloway did not start the game at running back. He's in there now next to Nick Fitzgerald. And Holloway gets his first touch. Tries to find a hole that never opens, and he gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Holloway for Mississippi State.
On play action, they swing it out, and it's knocked away incomplete, trying to find Farrod Green.
There.
Auburn's been magnificent with their third down defense this year under Kevin Steele. Just 30% completion percentage. And they swing it out to Shumpert, trying to find some space. He gets knocked down and dragged down, and that'll bring up 4th and 2 after a gain. Marcus Davis back to return. Plenty of hang time and a great looking punt. Davis with a fair catch just outside the 20.
Nothing this early in the ball game.
Cameron Petway is in at running back. He gets a carry here and is able to grind out 3 yards on first down. Kerryon Johnson left this game on the second drive for Auburn. Let's go down to Cole Kublik. Cole, what are you seeing for Kerryon?
Brought him down to the field, took the shoe off, retaped the ankle, put the shoe back on, then spatted over that.
Carry on their second drive. Johnson left. Now play action White. Over the middle. That's complete for a first down. That's a gain of 17 on Kyle Davis's reception. They keep it on the ground here with Petway, the sophomore from Montgomery, Alabama. Gain of 4.
And it's like that's the go button. When there's a big play, big run.
Defense probably better than anyone outside of Malzahn. Plenty of action here, and with the window dressing, they finally get it to Petway out of the backfield, and he's able to rumble down the sideline to pick up a first down. Richie Brown tracks him down after a gain of 10. Petway into the pile. 2 yards there. 2nd and 8 forthcoming. At the star position. On 2nd and 8, toss to Petway. Eludes the first and gets taken down in the open field by Brandon Bryant.
Brandon Bryant comes up, makes a nice open field tackle on a bigger back in Cameron Petway.
3rd down 7. Over the middle again. That's where they found success. Tony Stevens with his second first down grab. That one goes
the inside.
Cameron Petway finds room on the right side, and they're just knifing through Mississippi State. That time he's able. 2 fantastic drives back-to-back here for Auburn. Petway able to bully his way to the 15. Another first.
13 runs, 8 passes.
Back to the run again. And they're able to wrangle Petway, but after he picks up 4, when I think of Auburn's offense out of the huddle on 2nd down, Sean White is able to dump it off to his fullback, and he's down to the goal line. That's Chandler Cox with his first catch of the season. Mark McLaurin with
he's an excellent blocker.
Cameron Petway straight ahead, and he's able to churn his way into the end zone for the second score for Auburn. Second touchdown of the season for Petway.
Pass, and of course the tip for an interception. Those shouldn't count against quarterbacks.
That is a tight fraternity, and you will always advocate for the quarterback. And I serve programs in terms of bowl eligibility down the stretch. No return for Mississippi State. 3:44 to go in the first.
Early 3rd quarter, and that's when they'll really take charge of the game.
No problems for Clemson last night in Chestnut Hill. Here's Holloway out of the backfield with the reception and able to sneak up the sideline for a gain of. On 2nd and 2, Fitzgerald will keep it and pick up the first down with a little dance to the outside. Maybe the biggest difference with Mississippi.
He's 110 yards on the ground.
Coming off of a 300 pass yard, 100 rush yard game in a win against UMass. Prior to their bye week, Holloway spread out and is able to get forward for 4. They have a huge difference.
Soaking wet, but right there, if you get him to the edge, he can make plays for you.
Auburn shows blitz on 2nd and 6. Holloway can't find it inside, bounces outside, little stutter step move that allows them to pick up the first down.
Oh, that's sweet. Just
Now in a tailback for Mississippi State. Over the middle. That's complete and room to run for Malik Deer. He takes it down inside.
get to the top quickly to cover him up.
Ross motions. And we got a whistle.
Offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty, first down.
A margin for Auburn, and they can play downhill.
Fitzgerald swings it to the right side, and Ross can't find it. Let's check in with Cole.
Finding his way to the quarterback, and you can get pressure with just the front four.
Oh, he's coming free here, and the ball's loose. Knocked out by Marlon Davidson. And recovers. Montravius Adams finds it. They rule it. First turnover for Mississippi State is a big one. And now Cameron Petway. And you just get the feeling, Andre, that we're only in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But the way Auburn's moving the ball.
Right here.
Petway with a lean at the end, and that's going to bring up third. Petway picks up the first down. J.T. Gray.
Get back into that after this play.
Line holds, and he floats one to the outside, incomplete, trying to find. Succeeds where Gus Malzahn couldn't in terms of play calling. That's great. If he can't, what's the loss? Malzahn couldn't do it. Chandler Cox is able to take it inside the 40-yard line, short of the first down, and that's going to bring it into a short. Petway and a flag down.
Offside, defense number 98. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
11 first downs for Auburn. Petway trying to stretch it. Fought his way back to the line of scrimmage. White over the middle, complete for another first down. Another big play to Kyle Davis. Last year,
Hard passes, amazing so far.
Petway pushes his way forward and squeaks through the pile to pick up 4. The freshman
Knows this offense like the back of his hand.
Petway just short of the marker to bring up 3rd and inches.
And when you have a quarterback,
And so is Petway. He's able to pick up a first down. There's another reason Auburn's able to go a little bit faster today, Andre. We're not seeing as much of the win.
he's one of the best in the business.
Back to their bruising back Petway. 2 yards there, and that's going to set up 2nd and goal for
And
him.
I met Herb when he was footballed in Herb Hand.
Remember, he started with Rich Rodriguez at West Virginia. Talk about tempo there. Petway plunges in for his 2nd touchdown of the game. A 12-play, 60-yard scoring drive. 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the second quarter. Auburn has already run 36 plays to just 13. Mississippi State trying to ride this home crowd. They need some momentum. They need more cowbell. It's been all Auburn since the missed field goal, and no return here. 12:15 to go in the second quarter. Let's check in with Adnan.
Ryan O'Neal's smart touchdown play brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. He was an all-state tight end at Delaware. Now he's the left tackle, 6'6".
Harris Williams in at tailback. Fitzgerald will keep it. This is the strength of Mississippi State's offense. When they can do it, that's running with Nick Fitzgerald out of the zone read. After the zone read. Fitzgerald to the slant, batted. It is incomplete. Trying to fit it in. Same look here. They're 0 of 2 on 3rd down. Knocked in the air again, and Fred Ross couldn't haul it in. Carlton Davis was in his pocket.
Yeah, I'm not sure Nick Fitzgerald's seeing the entire field.
Logan Cook to kick it away. Able to step into this one.
Good.
And he booms one back, chasing Marcus Davis. Back to 13, and he lost it. Scooped up by Auburn wisely and quickly, and a Perhaps worst starting field position of the day for Shaun White and Auburn. Petway to the right side. Andre, listen to this number.
Oh, boy.
Auburn has won 37, run 30.
Offensively, and try to apply some pressure here.
Petway hit at the line of scrimmage and picks up 1.
And by that, I mean more bodies around the line of scrimmage. You've got to take some chances and play some man coverage to get an extra defender or two in the box to stop Cameron Petway.
So you dare Shaun White to beat you?
No doubt about it. At this point, absolutely.
Shaun White hands it off to Petway, and he gashes him up the middle. Let's check in with Cole.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Well, Cole wins the
He can play up front. Not afraid to let you know.
on 1st and 20. White off his back foot down the sideline, wide open and room to run past midfield. Cam Martin, a gain of 42. There's your the backfield with White. He's a speedster, runs a 4.440, and this time between the tackles picks up 5.
Right now, the way Shaun White's playing the game.
Martin originally signed with Art Briles and Baylor. Released after Briles was initially suspended. Pickup of 4 now by Cameron Petway.
Early here in the season for the Bulldogs.
On 3rd and short, White pressured. They can't bring him down. He's able to scramble back, but a loss if they wanted to try that. Fred Ross, one of the best punt returners in the SEC. Won't have a chance at this one. Fair catches it right at the 10-yard. I know you're disappointed, Andre. Flo Rida didn't make it in. His flight from San Francisco apparently was too low. Here's Holloway now out of the backfield. Dances past the 15 and popped out of bounds. What does Mississippi State need to do to get this offense?
Well, they've got to have a receiver that gives me an easy throw.
They're 0 for 3 on 3rd downs, leading to that Auburn ball control. Fitzgerald on the zone read picks up maybe a yard, so that will leave 3rd and a couple. What do you go to here now on 3rd and
Against these big guys.
Fitzgerald on the draw gets stuck before he can find the line of scrimmage by Trey Williams, and Mississippi. Logan Cook to punt it away again. Marcus Davis says get away from it. It will take an Auburn hop and down just outside the 45-yard line by State. A 36-yard punt that time from Logan Cook.
Quickly.
They are well on their way. Cameron Petway bounces it to the outside, flag back behind the line of scrimmage. Jamal Peters.
Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So I think former mostly. Cole, just tell me I'm not going to win the lottery today, and I'd be happy with that. Petway up the hash mark, and he's able to.
When you lose, another one to injury.
On 2nd down, they're able to get it outside complete to Darius Slayton for his first catch, and that goes for 5 yards. Shaun White is 12 of 14 through the air. Pumps, goes, deep ball, open. Too much and too strong. Kevin Phillips with a high one, and Fred Ross, second straight fair catch, that one inside the 10. 21-0.
Oklahoma. It'll be tough going forward, though.
Fitzgerald on play action on 1st down. Got a matchup he likes, but couldn't fit it into Gabe Miles. Incomplete. They bring 4 here. Complete to Fred Ross for a gain of 7. Doesn't matter. They know that their job is to win 3rd down, and their coordinator, Kevin Steele, reminds them of it daily. So they lose a 3rd down for the first time.
4 down linemen and 1 linebacker.
Only the 4th first down of the game for Mississippi State. Malik Gear out of the backfield gets cut down behind the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, like Auburn.
10 carries for just 21 yards for Mississippi State running backs today. To the slant, and that one's knocked away. Physical play on Gabe Miles from Jonathan Ford.
Everybody.
First team defensive line back on the field for Auburn. These guys fresh coming after you on 3rd down. Fitzgerald in the pocket, pressure, gets it away, incomplete. Trey Williams. Not not much distance on this one, and it takes an Auburn hop once again. Everything going against the Bulldogs today. That was just a 22-yard punt.
Defensive end combinations in all of college football.
Talking to Mississippi State coaches yesterday, they said, yeah, Garrett is great, but it's the guy on the other end that worries us the most. Here's Tony Stevens breaking free. And a little stiff arm gets him a few more. Brandon Bryant forces him out after 6.
Turn it into a big game.
Petway lost the football, and White there to cover it.
Game and has us in its current state of 21-0. They just really took the next couple of possessions, went right down the field.
Petway, he's over 100 yards with this one. He's got the sideline, and he's got the end zone. Touchdown Auburn on a 31-yard run from Cameron Petway. And now they say he's out at the 2. 6 carries already.
Yeah, they want to look at this. But Petway has been outstanding.
Flag down. Petway able to plunge in.
Side defense, number 34. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
So Petway with touchdown runs from 1, 3, and 1 yard and 2 yards out. 3 touchdowns today after only. Wow, multiple flags.
Offside, number 88 of the defense with contact. Dead ball foul, number 88, hitting the kicker. Auburn has elected to put that 15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
From that, my friend. Dak Prescott is on to the Dallas Cowboys. Mississippi State, barring a remarkable comeback here, is going to be a tight spot to even make a bowl.
Just seemed to create all the momentum for Auburn going forward.
This one will end up in the first row over the field suites here at Davis Wade Stadium. Here's what you're talking about.
Momentum happened after that.
Deja vu all over again for Mississippi State. They pressure Fitzgerald, brought him down, lost the football. Montravius Adams has it. Big fella touchdown from 13 yards out. Carl Lawson forced it, and it's a second fumble recovery of the day for Adams.
And another sack.
Carlson on the point after. He remains perfect. 30. No return for Mississippi State. Spend Sunday morning with Chris Berman and the NFL Countdown crew. New left tackle in the game, Elton Jenkins, takes over for Mississippi State. So, let's talk about Dak Prescott for a moment. What a great leader and a fantastic quarterback. What are the
touch of the entire football team? Winning games. It's tough to make that move.
Dedrick Thomas, the freshman with the Tony Romo's team. If you sit him and you bring Romo back, you know you're not going to have any issues from Prescott. Fitzgerald doing his best Dak impersonation, rumbles for.
Not at all. There's a ton of talent around him, and he just manages games well.
Fitzgerald spins his way away from Lawson, is able to high step his way down the sideline. With 24 seconds left, the clock stops on an 8-yard scramble.
And people always think that's throws the ball to open guys and reads the coverage the right way. That's why they're winning.
And there is no foul for targeting. It's second down, Mississippi State.
And I'm in total.
Brandon Holloway, the tailback. Pressure from Fitzgerald's right side. Eludes it. Flag down. And it's off the hands of Fred Ross. Another
holding offense, number 60. It's a 10-yard penalty, second down.
Great program at John Tyler High School, right there in Tyler, Texas.
Same high school as Earl Campbell. Fitzgerald uncorks one deep into coverage, batted away with 8 seconds left. I know you got no problem. 3-man rush that time. Fitzgerald with a Hail Mary to end the half. It is incomplete. And so the half ends with Auburn putting up 335 yards.
Just one possession at a time, trying to get scores and then get stops.
No chance for a return here for Mississippi State. 35-0 Auburn with the
game.
Their offense nearly non-existent, held to just 91 total yards in the first half, and right through the hands of Fred Ross. Ross wearing number 8. That's another one off of his hands or through his hands. We had a great visit with Fred Ross yesterday. You want to pull for kids like this, but it's a game so far he'd like to forget.
I mean, I think that's, as you mentioned, third drop in the ball game for Fred Ross, who's usually a sure-handed receiver.
His one catch extended his to 27 games. Fitzgerald has time and wobbles that one incomplete. Looking once again to Ross. Have you found that Nick line holds this time for Fitzgerald, and it is complete. Fred Ross again. Jonathan. They're going to try and do that with a quarterback who is a triple option quarterback at Richmond Hill High School in Georgia. Off the zone read, he hands it off to Ashton Suppert.
What's wrong with running the triple option in high
I was
school?
going to get to that.
I did not have 1,000 yards rushing, I can promise you that.
How do you go from running the wing tee to running the run and shoot? Well, by evading guys like Carl Lawson.
About 100%, as close to it as he's been in a very, very long time.
His 5th sack of the season. Here's Ross. They go to a screen. He was a great coordinator under Urban Meyer. They go to BYU Friday on ESPN. 35-0 after that 42-yard bunt.
Big guy.
Been a career day for the sophomore from Montgomery. Shaw White keeps it and crawls forward for 5.
I always scratch my head at plays called like that with this type of lead with a quarterback. You have the game pretty much in hand. Why even put him out there to take a shot? Petway's running the football. Just turn around, let the offensive line bring you home, and let Petway do his job and not set up Sean White or put him at risk for injury.
Especially when you got that guy. 7 for Petway in a first down. Along, he had 152 against Arkansas State. A little bit of room there, dragged down from behind.
At the same position just a year ago.
On 2nd and 7. No gain that time.
Go out and beat a defense, but there are times when he can also get us beat, and we want to try to avoid that moving forward.
I mean, now's the day to play him, right? Give him some reps, get him out there, see what he can do. 4-man rush for State. White directing traffic, gets pressured and dropped at his own 31. Ross will have a chance. Nope, fair catch, and he muffs this one, trying to recapture it, and it looks like Auburn's on top of it.
I think that went over.
I mean, they're pretty big names. Trying the jet sweep for something for Mississippi State, and Keith Mixon, their leading rusher, with 12 yards on 10 carries. And a handoff to Brandon Holloway between the tackles to find 6.
And the way you get him success running between the tackles, you have to window dress it a little bit. See the motion there to widen and nudge his way through.
Fitzgerald trying to shake the linebacker. Picks up 2.
Got close to the first down marker. For Mississippi State, it's just one drive at a time. Got to find ways to get points on the scoreboard.
Ashton Shumpert.
Trying to run the football.
They leave the center, Jamal Claiborne, uncovered here on 2nd and 7. And Mississippi State trying to run it again. Cole, what you're talking about with
It's a bare front. The tackles are usually going to get lighter, more athletic defenders over them. So an outside linebacker or a safety coming down covering the box, and I think that's always more difficult for an offensive tackle to handle.
Mississippi State was gap sound in their walkthrough this morning in the parking lot of the team hotel here in Starkville. This is Keith Mixon. They call him the pocket rocket. A little bit of speed for the fella, and he's able to take it inside the 40 before Stephen Roberts.
Auburn linebackers in space.
Fitzgerald looks at Shumpert, instead goes deeper than that to try and find Mixon.
And once again, Shumpert out of the backfield. Open. Sometimes the easy throw.
Fitzgerald scrambles, lets it go on the run, complete, and headed down the sideline as Malik is Keith Mixon, and he's in for a 37-yard touchdown.
Oh, what a heck of a job of keeping himself inbound. Watch the footwork. Nice job pushing it up into the pocket. A well-thrown ball, but right at the end of this, to keep yourself inbound.
Caps an 8-play, 69-yard drive.
Hey, what got out? I saw, as you did, Mississippi State going through walkthrough behind the hotel.
Yeah. And
then looked up. Not a cloud in the sky today in Starkville, Mississippi. Absolutely beautiful.
Jonathan Ford from the 8. Let's take a moment to answer our, well, all four of them huge names, and go back to Dak in a moment as Auburn tries to bounce it outside.
You know, he's not going to make a living running the football in the NFL the way he did at Mississippi State, but it allows you to, you always have a chance to catch the football.
Running behind a pretty good offensive line with the Cowboys as well. So Sean White still at quarterback for Auburn. Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Auburn has had no issues moving the chains today. There's Cameron Petway again for a
half yards a carry. Amazing afternoon for that young man.
9 of Auburn's 19 first downs have come on the ground. I bring Chandler Cox back into the backfield. Here's Petway again. Ball came loose. Mississippi
Be marked off. It'll be 1st and 10, Mississippi State.
It's Traver Jung and Ashton.
The ruling on the field stands. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 3 and number 32 will be marked off 30 yards. It'll be 1st down, Mississippi State.
So great. You get the football.
You know who Doug Ferris is? My high school football coach. You would sit in the back and not even get to watch the rest of the game.
Here's a shovel pass on the option look, trying to beat Auburn inside to Farad Green, and it's so Auburn turns the ball over, but they essentially improve field position. Fitzgerald wants to go deep, and he lets one sail. 35-7 here. Let's check in with Adnan.
All right, Tom, thank you.
Ball game there. It always is, really. Rivalry games, just throw the records out and let them play.
5 wide, empty backfield for Fitzgerald on 3rd and 5. Deer the catch for the 1st down.
Excellent read on the part of Nick Fitzgerald.
% of his attempts since coming out of the locker room in the 3rd quarter. Zone read, and Fitzgerald keeps it. Not afraid to take a hit, and he rips off. They're going to reverse it. Fitzgerald with a nice block. Not good enough. You ask your quarterback to block Carl Lawson and keep Mix behind me, okay?
Actually, the read was around Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald again. Steps through would-be tacklers. He's got the sideline and wisely steps out of bounds after a long game. They're going to run him again. Marlon Davidson stops him after 3.
Right there in the slot, wide open. That's a gimme.
Dump off to Holloway. You know, oddly enough, I was talking with some folks around this program.
Quarterback in high school, to settle him in, it's contact. He has to run the football and be hit to get grounded for a football game.
And he's going to run it again here on 3rd and 7. Fitzgerald gets stuck just shy of the marker and the inches. And straight ahead goes Fitzgerald to pick up the first down.
Yeah, we saw him on film do this the previous game and actually broke one for a huge game. He was under center in that game, but nice job by the center and guards. Just wedge out a nice hole to pick up the first down.
11th play of the drive and movement. Coming out of the timeout, 1st and 10, Mississippi State. Fitzgerald hesitated, and he gets popped for a loss of 1. Swing out to Holloway, cuts it back in, spins around, and then gets thrown to the turf by Stephen Roberts. Gain of 4.
Looks like he's reaching down at that left hand.
Ross in motion. Hit hard. Fitzgerald incomplete. He got planted by Carl Lawson.
He is some football player when he's healthy. Watch Lawson just continuing to come free. That time I think it was on the tight end. Rod Green, who just watches Lawson go by freely.
Your left tackle better be able to pick Myles Garrett, Arden Key, Carl Lawson. Holy smokes. Going for it on 4th and 7. Fitzgerald will throw, end zone, intercepted. Stephen Roberts with the long drive, nets nothing for the Bulldogs. Sean White still in at quarterback for Auburn. And they'll ride their hot hand. Cameron Petway trying to get him out of the shadows, picks up 3. Has your blood pressure calmed after watching that last snap? Yeah. On 3rd and 7, Petway gets wrapped up. Petway 36 carries, 159 and 3 scores. White on 3rd and 3. Incomplete, trying to find Kyle Davis. Ross looking in the sun, signals fair catch and trying to recover this one. It's the 2nd time he's done it today, and he's bailed out by a teammate for the 2nd time today. Once again, Des Harris has recovered 2. Harris Williams with his first carry of the day. Ridden to the ground. Let's check in with Adnan. On 2nd and 4. Fitzgerald given time. And he's able to complete it to the freshman Jamal Couch. Taken down by an ankle. But only the 2nd trip into the red zone today for Mississippi State. Williams lunges forward. A lot of tall wide receivers. Most of their upperclassmen 6 foot and under. Ross stands 6'2". Fitzgerald goes to Ross, and he is across the pylon and in. Touchdown, Mississippi State. Nice catch and run. So it's a 3-touchdown game kick here. Everybody up, and so they'll drill it to the back of the end zone. And no return for Auburn. Adnan, what's quarterback for Auburn, up 21. They had a 35-0 lead. Cam Martin takes a pop to the outside.
Change at quarterback, and we're going to have a chance to see John Franklin. All of a sudden, Stop moving the football on offense. 2 scores. And not going to happen.
You could always turn on Netflix. Here's Petway. Jonathan Calvin to stop.
I do think if Auburn had scored, you got to bring some pressure and make sure you get to the quarterback and force him into a rush throw.
He gets rid of it, complete to Darius Slayton, a first down just shy of midfield. Cameron Petway dragged down after a gain of 2. Gary Green, sophomore. Fumbled toss. Cam Martin couldn't squeeze it, so his quarterback bails him out. Florida State. And he's able to squeeze it off on the jet sweep to St. Truitt. Truitt spins out of trouble and is out of bounds in Mississippi State territory, forced out by Richie Brown in a late flag after he was.
A personal foul, number 41, hitting the player out of bounds. 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. First down.
Mark McLaurin. Another flag, multiple flags, and another handoff to Stanton Truitt.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Let's check in with our opponent. Hands it off again to Stanton Truitt. There is another issue cooking for Auburn. Either he will turn in about a month or they'll get a medical redshirt for him. Those are the 2 options. Franklin hands this one off. Stanton Truitt gets popped before he's able to get a second surge on a gain of 6. So the guys, and he gives it up straight away. Cameron Petway for a first down, gain of 6. The Auburn team coming off of another huge offensive performance against Louisiana Monroe. 688 yards of total offense. Franklin gets dragged down on the sideline by Jonathan Calvin. Today, 490. Franklin keeps it, finds the edge. Trying to find the end zone. He's in from 11 yards out, and a flag on the play.
Oh, wow, it didn't even have to happen. One of the edge blockers, and he was already outside of leverage, going to walk.
Holding, offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty, second down from the spot.
He can still beat you.
He can be right and still be wrong.
Truitt dragged down by Richie Brown.
Oh, is he slippery or what?
A couple years he was hampered by a shoulder injury. Now 3rd and 2. So going back to a bowl, and then if you continue to improve, it could be a very good season for Auburn. And I know the bar's set high on the Plains. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But given what they've been through,
Starting with the LSU game, put up a bunch of yards a week ago.
Yep, against Louisiana Monroe. 25-yard field goal is good from Daniel Carlson. No chance for a return there. 38-14. So we've discussed what this
as you possibly can. Then it almost becomes a reality, though. It almost becomes a must-win on a short week going to BYU.
That will certainly be a challenge for Mississippi State. They'll cram their week down to almost mishandled that snap. Gain of 5 for Dontavian Lee out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. They have 181 through the air, and they gave up 432.
Yeah, there's a lot to fix. And then special teams with Fred Ross dropping punts. And
where do you start?
There is a lot of coaching points.
To 4-2, Gus Malzahn's crew now 2-1 in conference play. Mississippi State falls to 2-3, 1-2 in conference play. BYU waits next for Mississippi State. Our final, 38-14. Auburn in control from the get-go. Coming up next, it's College Football Scoreboard, presented by Honda. Now here's Adnan, Danny, and Joey in the studio.